Would make a quick video talking about going no contact with your parents. And if you've been following me, you know that I have been no contact with my mother for 9 years, just over 9 years. This was my 9th no contact Christmas, and in 2025, in September 2025, it will be 10 years that I will have been no contact with my mother and the golden child sister and a few other siblings. And if you've been following me, you'll also know that I was back in contact with my scapegoat sister, and then that went south. And yeah, so back to full no contact with my full family of origin. And I just have to say that this year I'm feeling like I have a lot more capacity. I don't feel as triggered. I didn't feel like as dreadful. Like it wasn't like, like constantly feelings of dread that the holidays were coming. I actually had, a pretty good holiday season, other than, the normal. But I think it also could be because I found out this year that my mom actually moved away. And she moved away. She's been gone now for more than a year. She moved away before the last Christmas, Christmas 2023. So, and I didn't know that then. And last year was particularly hard for some reason. Actually, last year was particularly hard because I started my business. I got the, I applied for the, to be a sole proprietorship, and, got the business name and all that stuff. And then I'll talk about this in another video, but I have mentioned this before, talking about imposter syndrome. And so yeah, I'd like to talk at length more about that. But yeah, so no contact with your parents. I always go through periods of time where I feel guilty, where I still have that guilt, like I'm going to be in trouble. But like that guilt is like because for the longest time I put my mother's feelings first over my own. I took care of my mother when she should have been taking care of me, and that was my role. I was like the caretaker. Like I almost became a nurse. That was, and like my mom had this thing with, getting attention with being sick and stuff like that. And I think she was a psychosomatic narcissist. And I did talk about that before in another video, and I'll put a link to it above. But yeah, so it hasn't all been easy. It wasn't like, oh, I went no contact with my mother and oh, life has been just like awesome. No. Because like that was like sort of like the first step. It was like I was pushed into it by them, of course, like my mother and my golden child sister, because they, what happened with the discard and whatnot. And put another link above to that video. But just the whole discard and everything, and then like having to, like, it was like I had an awakening. I was able to see them for the first time. They took their masks off, and even though they had been revealing themselves for a couple of years already, I finally was able to see them. I was finally able to see them for who they really were and what they were doing to me. And as soon as I saw that, like as soon as that day, September 15th, 2005? Is that when it was? Yeah. Yes. No, 2015. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So 2015. Um, and I stood up that day in my mother's living room and I told her that I can't see her anymore. And that, that was the last time that I actually spoke with her. That was the last time that I ever spoke to her or had anything, to say to her about anything. And yeah, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster, like there's been times when it's like, when I feel good, but like, that's when my whole healing journey from CPTSD, from like narcissistic abuse, from like really like knowing what I went through, or even just the beginning of knowing what I went through, actually, like, because, in these past 9 years or whatever, it's like, it's been like layers upon layers, peeling back the layers, and like, so, and then, like the starting the business was just another layer that was revealed, that revealed a whole nother set of like limiting beliefs, and it just really, really revealed what I needed to work on, but also what I really went through and why I was struggling, last winter, because I applied to become a sole proprietorship, got the business name and all that stuff in October of 2023, and then I just sort of went and then I decided to spend time just focusing on my healing journey, and I did like just that, like I didn't work this year, like I stopped working like in, I think it was like May or June, and I didn't push myself. I allowed myself to take the time to heal, and it really has paid off, anyhow, the lighting in here is really bad all of a sudden, or has it always been like this? Anyway, so yeah, like I just wanted to just touch base on that again, that just know that if you've gone no contact with your parents, and you're realizing that you're not feeling better, like, and you are realizing that you're having these feelings of guilt, and like you keep wondering, oh, should I contact them? I just want you to know that that's really normal, and it really shows what kind of person you are. People with people like us, like people pleasers and stuff, like we took care of our abusers. We took care of them over ourselves. We put them first so that we could be safe. But now it's time for us to put ourselves first and to find that safety, because we're worth it. And, so anyways, I encourage you to do just that, to put yourself first, to realize that you're worth it, that you're worth putting yourself first. You're worth having those feelings of guilt, because just know this, that those feelings of guilt were instilled in you as you were growing up, so that you would never leave them, no matter how they treated you. And so that's just another thing that we need to work on, and so yeah, I just wanted you to know that it's normal to feel guilty. It's normal to feel like maybe I made a mistake, maybe I should go back, because because we're realizing that it hurts, and that we're having to grieve, and the instinctive thing to do is to like, oh, stop these bad feelings, stop this, from hurting. But just know that you can do this, and you can feel those feelings and get through to the other side. And each time that you sit with yourself and just have compassion with yourself when you're feeling those feelings, it's going to get better and better. And so yeah, I just wanted you to to know those things, and just know that I'm here. You're not alone in this. This is something that, I'm going through too, and I still struggle with it. It's not an easy thing, even though you realize that they were not good for you. They're not, they didn't have your best interests at heart. It's very hard to stop that codependent thinking that, especially when that was what we needed to survive our whole lives. And it's very confusing when it's your parent, because they're supposed to be the ones to keep you safe, but yet they're the ones that are making you feel unsafe. And, so it's a whole big thing that, it's not easy, but you can do it. We can do this together. Just know that I'm here. I'm in this with you. And I'm wishing you so much peace and love on your journey.